The Bar Group, raising the bar in real estate. Your Lake Highlands, Lakewood, Preston Hollow pros. You can find them at thebargroup.com. Unparalleled customer service for your real estate needs. The Bar Group.
Coming through.
Energy level here. We got a lot of great players in the room here. A young one, a father and son duo here that I've known a long, long time. Have the utmost respect. In all honesty, this guy doesn't remember this, but I do. I got a Mats Wilander signed racket because he was the president of an organization that we did at a local amazing country club here a long time ago. But here's a few highlights of this young man. He's a D1 singles All-American and all-time winningest Husky for the University of Washington. He's a top 400 ATP player. He's a practice partner to Serena, Tommy. I didn't know all this, man. I would have had your autograph when I first met you. Well, let's keep going here. He runs. He's the president of lifetime of what's it called?
Impact
Activities. Yes, sir. His name is Mr. Matt Hanlin. I could go on. He's got the courts of McKinney. He's an amazing guy. That's all there is to it. Matt Hanlin, thanks for coming. And Absolutely. Who are you? Say your name, sir. Dalton. There he is. Say it one more time. Look in there. Hey, Dalton.
Say your name.
Dalton.
There you go. See? All right, Dalton's our little pickleball player. So without further ado, Mr. Matt Hanlin, thank you for coming in here in this lovely weather we have.
Thanks for having me, Curtis. Good to see you again.
So we'll just get it started, my friend. When pickleball, why pickleball?
Well, for me, it's actually quite an interesting beginning. I was in university in Seattle, University of Washington, and my roommate, this was 20-something years ago, 25 years ago, she says, have you heard of this game called pickleball? And I go, what are you talking about? She goes, no, my grandfather invented this game on Whidbey Island or some island over at Washington, and he named it after his dog Pickle. And have you ever heard of it? He says it's going to be a popular game. I go, what is it? He goes, well, she says it's a wiffle ball and small tennis court kind of concept. I go, ridiculous idea, never going to take off. That was the last I kind of talked about it until about 6, 7, 8 years ago. Then it came around, obviously, and has gone from strength to strength. And then about 2.5, 3 years ago, actually just before COVID, just as COVID was kicking in, I thought this could be rocky times for tennis, certainly with people being locked away. And how can we maximize the use of our facility, obviously increase revenues. And so I started putting down some permanent lines pretty quickly, actually, as COVID was around. I think we were one of the first, certainly public tennis centers to start putting these lines on top of tennis courts.
So real quick for all our listeners and our players and our future pickleball players and our future pickleball professionals, I've cut you off because I want you to please let our listeners know what all facilities you have here in Dallas or really wherever you want to talk about.
Yeah, we have, so my company started in 2012, opening the Courts of McKinney, 11-court tennis facility, and then from year over year, we kind of took over another facility every 2 or 3 years on average. So we have 6 now, 5 in the area, 3 in Dallas at Samuel Grand, LB Houston, Fretz Tennis Centers. Courts of McKinney, as I said, was the first one. We added 12 more courts to that facility in 2016, so it's 23 courts. We have 1 facility in Fort Worth, McClellan Tennis Center, has 2 indoor courts, and then we just took over about 2 years ago, a tennis center in San Diego, Coronado Tennis Center, all built by the cities. Our company manages them for a long-term lease. And we invest and we improve these facilities, hopefully, and kind of create a bigger and better culture is kind of the goal. And then the Courts of McKinney, we're opening up a beautiful $14 million indoor tennis complex this month, actually.
Indoors, AC and everything up there.
Yeah, it'll be the first real serious public indoor facility in this region. I mean, you know of all the indoor courts, but they're all privately owned. They're all, Lifetime Fitness or country clubs, and you've had the privilege of working at some of these. But for me, to be able to offer indoor tennis at a fraction of the price with no membership needed, so that now these juniors can play tennis all year round. Everyone can play all year round. It's a pretty cool thing to see. I think tennis will really certainly grow and prosper in the McKinney area, at least because of it. Yeah,
well, we had Zoltan on, the director of tennis at LB a few months ago or a while back, and he talked about pickleball the same way. And he obviously speaks very highly of Matt Hanlin. and his boy here, Dalton. Say what's up.
Hi. Oh, hi.
Do you play pickleball, Dalton?
I do.
All right. So you like mixed doubles? You like doubles or singles?
It depends by partner because like
Good answer.
sometimes like they're terrible and sometimes they're good. Like my
like
dad,
someone-
if he's on my team, he will be.
Am I terrible or good? I'm not sure.
You're very
okay,
good.
Okay, I take that
My
compliment.
sister's like super good. She steals all my balls.
What's her name?
Her name is Dakota.
Nice. So you got 2 pickleballers, including yourself. Do you play a little, Matt?
Play a little bit, yeah. I've got into it more and more. Actually, I'm playing a pickleball tournament tomorrow at the courts in McKinney. Just a fun one. But we got an amazing pickleball coordinator, director, Melissa,
up there?
Melissa Stewart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's the best I've seen in this area. She just knows how to bring people together. Market's great, and she just has a massive passion for it. And I think that's if you start there, you can't go too wrong, right?
No.
So she's done an incredible job. So we're lucky to pickleball's really thriving at McKinney, and we've added 54 pickleball courts in the last 2 years across all our facilities. And so it's one thing to have the courts; it's another thing to have the person that brings the people together. And I think, as you know as well as anyone, it is such a social game. If you don't have the conductor of the orchestra or the glue that binds, you can't have that pickleball culture because there's so many offerings, right? You can go to a rec center, you can go to a church, you can go to a park and play pickleball, but it's whether you've got that person that's bringing everyone together. And so we've certainly got that in McKinney with Melissa, so we're excited.
Matt's hired a lot of great pros throughout the years I've known personally. And so those of you that are thinking about doing tennis or pickleball professionally and maybe train Dalton, right?
Yes.
All right. Just keep thinking, just keep listening to this because Matt is a pillar for Dallas pickleball and tennis as well. So he's got a lot of opportunity for you potential pickleball professionals and tennis professionals that are listening right now and watching. All right, so so do you have any type of paddle you guys like or use, or do you endorse or do whatever?
I use a Diadem one, and I use a Vulcan. And we've been selling a lot of Vulcans, so I'm pretty happy with that product. And Diadem's kind of catching up there, a little newer to the market, I feel. But I think everyone's trying to get in there. Everyone understands the explosion that is pickleball. So I'm not sponsored. I'm happy to take whatever pedals people want to give me at this point, and that's a plug for my terrible level. But yeah, we just sell a lot of Vulcans, so I'm using one of those at the moment.
I think you won't have a problem getting an endorsement.
Yeah,
Mr.
thanks.
Hanlin. I'm almost positive about that. Or neither for you, Dalton. So hey, be looking for those junior sponsorships too.
Yes.
So what's your favorite thing? This is our first junior section here with Mr. Dalton Hanlin here. So you are 9, that we said?
Almost.
Almost. When's your birthday?
March 4th.
Nice. All right, 9. So are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm right hand.
Two-hand or one hand on your backhand?
Back. 2 hands sometimes.
Okay. Do you like to lob?
No. 'Cause I'm not good at that.
Learn it. It's an untapped reservoir there for that thing.
Yes.
So anyway, so we talked a little bit more about going back to Daddy Senior here. Is so one of the things I like to ask guests, and there's this totally objective when I ask this question, do you like certifications or do you think it's normal? Some people do, some people don't. This is for people that maybe want to work with you, with some of your staff sometime. Do you have any type you prefer? Certifications for pickleball or PPR?
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, the USPTA's got one. I don't discriminate across too many of the certifications as long as they have continued education. I think some of these, whether it's tennis pros or pickleball pros, they get their certification one time and they'll never go back to either a conference or a certification. And, you know, I feel like I know a lot about tennis, but I always learn something when I go back to a tennis conference, and I've been to a lot. And I know pros that are a lot less experienced than me that have never been to a conference, and it blows my mind that they don't want to hear a different way to do things or see a different drill or technique. And it just revitalizes. I feel like it refreshes me as a learner, as a coach, and it gives me a different a format or vehicle to communicate to people. And I think being a good coach, whatever you're doing, it's about how do you communicate the messaging, right, in the various different ways to hit home. So yeah, I usually pay for my staff to get certified or continued education. But I don't. As long as they want to get certified, I'm not going to say you can't do this but you have to do this. So I keep it pretty vague.
Good. So that's a good example of autonomy. letting the pros do what they feels right and find their strengths and weaknesses, which is a plus, especially owning it with the big staff that you have with all your awesome facilities. So do you like when you do play? What do you prefer, mixed singles or doubles? I like singles, but I'm too old. But I like mixed sometimes. Mixed is my favorite, I think.
Is it? I haven't played a ton of mixed. I've played more doubles. I played a little bit of singles. I used to prefer singles as a tennis player, so it's still in me. Like even though my legs are not there, I like that challenge. But in terms of just having a laugh and a giggle, doubles is a lot of fun. So I think if I was to play a tournament, I would prefer doubles. I think if I'm going to go out and just try and get a workout as well, maybe singles are kind of hit all the check boxes, you know.
Well, whenever we start getting more and more tournaments here in Dallas, we're going to play. So
okay, all right. Yeah. Teach me a few things. I haven't been playing that long.
Everybody keeps telling me that. I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, yeah, let's get out there.
It'll be fun, and then you guys can play together.
He'll be whooping up on me soon, I'm sure. He's got a mean forehand.
So every club's different.
Yeah.
And there's private, corporate, independent, public, whatever. Everything is quirky in their own way. I've had just like you, Matt, we've had the opportunity to work at private and public places, and they're all different and unique. But what's the vibe with pickleball at where your places are? Your pros like, yes, I want to do this, or that's kind of weird, but it's just fun, or what is it? What's the vibe with Melissa and all that?
Well, first of all, you're right. I think the way you just described the various avenues, there's probably more at the moment for pickleball there even are for tennis, because you throw in the rec centers that start putting lines down, or the churches that put lines down, or the Salvation Army that put, so you've got all these various facilities trying to have a go at it. So I describe it as the Wild West right now in pickleball, and we don't really know where it's going to end up and how oversaturated it'll get. So it's interesting. But I guess answer your question on pros. Yeah, at first they were very standoffish, right? I said at the beginning of COVID, I said to a couple of my pros, and some of them, I won't name them because it'll embarrass them. I said, I'm going to put a couple of pickleball lines down and test it. And they go, you're crazy, man. That noise is going to annoy everybody. No one's going to come out here anyway. They just basically, mocked me.
I know that. I've been there. I'm still being that mocked, man.
Yeah, they mocked the idea, and those pros are the ones now that are actually saying, hey, why don't you just go full pickleball court and don't even have tennis lines on it, right?
I love it.
It's unbelievable. They want to get certified. They want to start running pickleball tournaments, and I try not to rub it in their faces too much. But I know. You do remember 2.5 years ago you called me nuts, right? And now 54 or 5 courts later, they all seem to be pretty popular and rocking. And it works well together. They may be coaching the parents in tennis, and their friends want to come out and play with them, and they move over to the pickleball court, they come back, or they've got a daughter that plays tennis and the parents want to go play pickleball at the same time. So it all feeds into itself. And obviously tennis is more physical, let's be honest. And so people will age out of tennis likely before they'll age out of pickleball. So maybe they finish tennis and they stay within the facility that they're comfortable with and move over to the pickleball court, which is great for business. It's good for the culture. I hate to see tennis courts going away. Yeah, that's a negative. I mean, if we can keep incorporating kind of the hybrid model, or just adding on to facilities by adding some concrete pads and putting some nice courts down, pickleball courts, I think that would be the win-win. I do think they can live together. Harmoniously.
Dang it. How do you say it, Dalton? Harmoniously.
In harmony.
I don't know. Whatever. He's like, wait, what?
But so I see it being
How do you say that?
Harmony?
Harmoniously.
Yeah, you got it.
Whatever.
So anyway, working together.
Sorry.
But I think it's a good fit, and I wouldn't bring it in to these tennis centers unless I thought everyone could work well together. And it's still a juggling act. There's different personalities. And everyone's got to get used to everything else. But
I liked the way he said that. I liked the way Matt said that a hybrid. What'd you call it again? The hybrid
model.
Hybrid model. Yeah, that's great, and it's so true for me. I think anything that includes pickleball and amazing programs like your places just makes me happy. And that kind of leads me to the next question I have is, I'll tell you what mine is to give you a baseline, and I'm going to ask you one too. Does that sound good, Dalton?
Yes.
All right. So we'll ask Mr. Dalton, we'll ask your dad first, and then after I tell my story, what's your favorite pickleball moment so far? I'll tell you what mine is real quick while you think. is I taught a player who was pushing, probably late 70s, early 80s, and she came to me and said she has Parkinson's, and she didn't think she could serve. She served, and I just minimized what all we needed to do, and she kept practicing and practicing. I said, you're not gonna be able to. You're gonna be able to do this because how I'm teaching you is gonna let you wear and tell you when to hit the ball. So after 2 or 3 months, finally, I almost said her name. She rips this forehand serve, right? A forehand serve, just for ace, for a winner. And she looked at me and she goes, "I did it." And all I said was, "I told you." She didn't think she could do it. So small things like that. When I start playing more tournaments, when we start playing more tournaments, you can bring whatever you want. But Matt, what's your favorite little thing with pickleball?
Well, I'm going to go 2 if I'm allowed.
Yes, sir.
If you don't mind.
Sure,
First,
go for it, man.
First, it's pretty cool that I can get out and rally with this little guy here, or play doubles with him against his sister and someone else pretty immediately. And we can play. It's not like if we go on a tennis court, my topspin forehand is going to bounce over his head and he's going to struggle, right? At the moment. But yes, just to get out and have a laugh, and then he's tagging his sister with the forehand or whatever, and she's trying to get him back. It's a real fun family event, sport, and so that's an immediate one. But second. Last Friday, actually, I have a ton of couples friends up in McKinney, and we do a game night every month or so. And so it was my turn to host. So I did pickleball party in McKinney. So I had 16 of my friends on. I just locked down 4 of our pickleball courts, and I had some friends that are former college athletes, other sports. I had some people that can't walk in a straight line most of the time, and we were just mixing it around, and winners play losers and all that. And we did that for 2 hours, and people didn't realize how fast the time went. We went out and had a margarita and dinner after, but it was just a great way to be active instead of just maybe sitting around a board game, right? We're running around, and I'm trying to tag one of my friends who talks too much nonsense on the court, and
I've seen that.
It was just a fun way to introduce them to a new sport, and they all by the end of 2 hours they were all picking up, understood the rules, and was playing to at least an okay level. So that's what's cool about pickleball. You can get people introduced to it really quickly. So those 2 very different, from my pickleball party to goofing around with my kid, which we're going to go play some after this interview, aren't we, for a little bit. He's going to warm me up for my tournament tomorrow.
Unless Mom is done with her
appointment. Yeah. Okay. So that's 2 cool things.
Mommy's not happy, Daddy's not happy, no one happy. Okay, you know that? So what's your favorite memory so far, Dalton Hanlin?
Well, I liked playing with my friends because, either way, if they're bad, we can still rally because it's just like a fun sport. It's not really like a competition.
Mm-hmm. So just playing with your buddies, huh?
Yeah.
Did you make bad line calls?
Second?
Nothing. I'm just kidding.
It's fair. He's quite fair.
He is. I believe that. Well, so let's go to the next segment, which I call In the Kitchen. And this is where I ask fun questions. I'll ask you some fun questions. You can listen to your dad's answers. But the first one is going to see music. What are you jamming on your way down here? I believe I was cranking up some Jane's Addiction live XXX album, which is really good. It's got Jane Says, which I'm not really a fan of. That's what I'm cranking up right now on my tunes. What you got, Mr. Hanlon?
Wow. My favorite group is a group from England, or Britain, Wales, actually, Stereophonics.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know them. But my uncle's the lead guitarist, and so we named Dakota, his sister, after one of their #1 songs.
Wow.
So just got a close connection to that group. I've seen their concerts tons of times. They're huge. They've had 8 or 9 albums go to #1. So they're a really big band everywhere except here. So that kind of music, the U2, Coldplay kind of alternate stuff, I'm good with. I listen to a lot of things, but that would be my favorite.
Jam right. What are you jamming, Dalton? What are you listening to? Song.
Nothing really.
Nothing
My dad
really?
just pops up stuff.
So you like music? All right, fair enough. So let's talk about your favorite binge series. What I'm doing right now is Yellowstone 5. My wife and I are. That's all I'm doing right now, and I'm addicted to it. And my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, Spaceballs.
All right, that's a good one. Yeah, I was actually watching. Just started Yellowstone 2 days ago. So
the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just started, so I'm getting into that. I finished Peaky Blinders a little while ago. That's in my hometown, Birmingham.
Oh
England.
yeah.
So got a connection to that as well. It's really cool. Movie Gladiator, I think, just a classic.
Gladiator.
But comedies I could watch Anchorman over and over, or Dumb and Dumber, those kind of silly, brainless comedies.
I had a friend of mine who says basically all of our humor is based around funny movies.
That's good.
What do you like?
Well, I don't really have a favorite movie because like you don't know all the movies. So there's
the
more
recent
to
one you
explore.
liked. How about that?
Yes, Day.
Stay?
No, Yes, Day.
Oh, Yes Day.
Yeah.
Nice. What's that about?
It's like this girl, her parents say no to a lot of stuff. So they do a yes day.
Nice.
So they get anything they want
Oh.
for a whole day.
That's not bad.
And I've done it in real life.
We won't be having that in our house. Just in case you're wondering.
But
where this
we've
is
done
going.
it in real life,
That's good.
not you.
That was a good day you must have had.
But I didn't get everything I wanted.
No.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite sports music? Sports teams. I like Chiefs and the Rangers and all that. Who you like?
Got big into the Mavs recently. My daughter's a huge Mavs fan, so we've got tickets that we go to a lot. So yeah, she's just got me heavily involved in that. So when in Dallas, you gotta be after one of the teams, right? The Stars or the Mavs or the Cowboys. So Mavs seem to be the number one team in our house. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's your favorite team, Dalton?
We like Luka. He's pretty good.
Watch any pickleball on TV?
No.
We've got the Dallas club team. We're gonna have some players coming on the show
Okay.
sometime this month. They're on that, so we'll
nice.
clue into more of that coming your way, guys. Beautiful. So, lastly, and I owe Matt an apology. I need to tell us about you, where you're from, your family.
I'll try not to bore you too much.
No,
but English originally, sent to the Boltieri Tennis Academy when I was 13. So I've been over here. I was there for 7 years training, trying to achieve that dream of being a tennis pro. After that, I went to play at University of Washington, as you mentioned, 4 years there. Then played on the pro tour for about 4 or 5 years, traveled all over. Then moved to San Diego where I started coaching tennis, married Dalton's mom, had his sister, Dakota. Then we moved out here in 2012. We had Dalton a couple of years later. Moved out here to open the courts in McKinney. And in a nutshell, that was it. There's nothing else that's happened in between any of that. It's a pretty boring life, really. That's it. So,
well, tell me how you. I remember when you first got the courts in McKinney, but tell us about the lifetime. How'd you get into that from having your course McKinney to expanding out? How did you get into the lifetime impact activity? Sorry.
So, well, impact activity we were originally called Lifetime Tennis, and it just conflicted with Lifetime Fitness. So we changed that, and also because we're getting into pickleball, multiple activities. So we went from tennis to activities. So it was just a good time to change from the word lifetime to impact. And then I just know I wanted to expand. I don't like standing still. I think if you stand still, you might as well be going backwards in my mind. So I want to keep growing, whether it's learning or as a business growing. So expanding in the right ways, which means taking over the right facilities and then helping improve those in whatever ways are needed, is kind of my goal. This year we're looking to add indoor courts in Dallas at Samuel Grand. Wow. And also including some indoor pickleball courts standalone in there, which I think would be pretty cool. Some public indoor pickleball courts. That'd be kind of fun. So that's scheduled for the next 3 to 6 months, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's just I guess we can do a lot of different things. Being a management company of sports, we're not going to hold back on a lot of opportunities, I think.
Yeah, I remember you always find something, and I've seen how you just make them look better. Makes them better. That's all there is to it. A lot of facilities. So the last thing is, I forgot to ask you this, but I have a pet too. We have a Labradoodle and we have a Havanese. And my Labradoodle's name is Chief, and the Havanese is a small little dog named Gus. You guys got a favorite pet?
Yeah, Mr. T.
Mr. T?
Yeah.
The Chihuahua?
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah, a 5-pound Chihuahua. He's the opposite of the real Mr. T. He's small and pathetic.
Yeah, we have 3 frocks.
Oh, what are their names? Larry, Moe, Curly.
So first of all, last week we bought 2 of them because one of them died, and we already had 2. One of them was named Skinny Legs. That's the one that didn't die.
We almost named you that when you were born.
And then the 2 ones, we have not named them yet. So
Thing 1, thing 2. I like that. That's a good idea.
yeah, I guess.
So another question here for the last question here would be name something that's quirky about you that you think people wouldn't know about you. Me, I hate ham. I cannot touch it. I can't. see it. It's good on sandwiches, but I can't actually have it like a roast. I know. What you got?
I embarrassingly enough took a ballet class in college.
That's fantastic.
I thought so.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I thought it was great at the time. I mean, you can imagine what the demographic was like.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that difficult to get a decent grade. You just had to show it, basically. So it checked two boxes out of two, really. The only problem was it was 8:30 in the morning, which was rough. But would you believe I met my girlfriend in college in that class?
And a ballet class.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Dalton, what's something funny about you think people would like to know?
Well, I kind of had the same moment. So in our class, my teacher had to go somewhere. So the girls always do ballet, and they made our whole class do ballet.
Sweet. Did you kill it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't kill it either. In my class.
Well,
But it was only for one day.
that's all right.
least.
One day's better than no day.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess.
lastly, Matt, how would people who listen to the show or want to be a pickleball or tennis pro or both, how would they get in contact with you?
Yeah, well, our website, impactactivities.com. Reach out. We've got a lot coming up here shortly. We're opening up these indoor courts in McKinney. So we've got 6 of those. They're just tennis courts without pickleball, but we will be doing some big indoor pickleball tournaments and events. You know, all kinds of cool things like glow pickleball, that kind of stuff, which is going to be great indoors. So stay tuned for that. Check out our website, our Instagram, Impact Activities, or you can go to the specific tennis centers. They have their own Instagram or Facebook page as well, whether it's LP Houston, Fred, Samuel Graham, McKinney, they all have their own. And we have a monthly newsletter that goes out, and we've just started promoting our $21 a month membership, which allows you to play unlimited pickleball and tennis at all of the facilities for the same price. And what's kind of cool about that is you can reserve your own pickleball court, right? And it's pretty rare now to be able to just reserve a court, go with your friends, even though people do like the open play where you can go in and mix around. But there's certain people that just want to go out and play with their 3 friends and get in and get out in an hour and a half. And at least you know you've got your court locked in. So our Impact Activities app allows them to do that and check all facilities at once and find one that's open.
Wow. So he said go to the Impact Activities app, just like the Vocal app. The Vocal Now app that you need to have to download this show and all our shows that you can listen to and see most importantly. Or you can contact me, Curtis Reese, Curtis, at ReeseRacketSports.com, ReeseRacketSports. Did I do that right?
Sounded great.
I love Matt. So anyway, I'm just saying, appreciate you guys coming. And to Matt, Dalton, look, you guys have a good time today. I hope you did.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you.
You guys take care. We'll have you back on. Take care.
All right, take
you
care,
guys, come on, let's pickle. See you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Coming through.